cold. A beverage, is it? What are we having today? Must be something nice alcoholic beverage in the new alcoholic beverage glasses with ice in the beverage glass for alcohol. It's just a tiny little Dr. Pepper, but make it fancy, yeah? Put some effort in, do the nice things, you know, just because life's a shit and you're a shit at life and life's a shit in and around you because of you being a shit at life, doesn't mean you can't do nice things for yourself sometimes. Wear the nice shirt just on an average day. Use the nice plates and dishes. Do, you know, shit. Masturbate in public. Go nuts. Oh, I got Dr. Pepper bubbles all over my sketchbook. It's alright, it's art, it's fine. So I'm having a Dr. Pepper, but making it, you know, normally I just drink out of a can because I don't care about anything at all. My life's lost basically all meaning. But, you know, I've got a nice glass, got some ice. Make it nice. So that rhymes. Oh, that's actually really good. I do like that. God, that's isn't that a nice. Isn't that a nice? Fucking idiot, Ewan. Shut up. Do the shit we pay you to do. Just fucking sit and draw. Shut your fucking mouth. Although I guess the whole point of this is not to shut my mouth, is it? It's to keep talking. Talk forever. Talk for 12 hours. Go on, Ewan. Do it. Do it, Ewan. It's coming up. We're getting there soon. I hope you're all dead excited. I might be. I don't know. I think the closer it gets, the more I'm feeling like, ooh, this might have been a bad idea. Like, it might have been a good idea to, like, if I do it, I was very careful to split up the do-dos there. If I do it, and then I just said it anyway. If I do go through with the 12-hour podcast, it might have been a better idea to just do it. So, you know, have episode 249 come out and have never mentioned the idea of doing a 12-hour podcast. And then episode 250 comes out and it's 12 hours long. People would be like, what the fuck is this? Oh my god, you fucking madman actually did it. The absolute madman actually did it. But if for whatever reason I feel unable to perform, if I don't feel like it's going to work out, now I've made a big fucking deal about it. If I feel I'm unable to do it for whatever reason, I'll have to make a fucking announcement about it, won't I? I mean, I could just do the episode 250 normally as I would. Don't know why the fuck I said it like that. And then, you know, maybe just mention, oh, by the way, this, that, and the other is why I didn't do the 12-hour episode. I think the eyes are supposed to be further down. Fuck, I fucked it up. I gave him 4 eyes. I gave him glasses. Fucking nerd. I'm sure everyone would understand if I decided, or for whatever reason, didn't do a 12-hour podcast. But I'm in it now. I've made that bed and now I've got a shit in it. I've burnt that bridge and now I've got to lie on it. I've shit the bed and now I've got to have sex with it. The things we do, the things we do for love. And that's why I do it. That's why I do all of this. I do it out of love. For you people. Because I love you all so much. I want to have babies with all of you. Not really. I got a vasectomy. I just want to fill you all with my infertile cum. Oh, isn't that nice? I'm going to get this out of the way real quick, just because it's close to the start of the video, so I know where to put the image. So I'm drawing a death claw, because, you know, oh, fuck, death claws are cool, aren't they? Fucking... So I was, you know, went on Google Image, the typical sort of place to go to look for pictures of shit. Google image, Deathclaw. One of the first pictures that came up. I guess I took a screenshot of the thing. So there's a bunch of images, and as you can probably see, one of them stands out a little bit more. And it's this one. And I mean, I fucking love it. I love it just for the fact that someone drew it. And shouts to the guy who drew it, TF Warlock on Fur Affinity. I looked for the name TF Warlock on Instagram. It wasn't returning any results that seemed to be that person. So I don't know if they are on Instagram or not. But I feel it necessary to shout them out just because I'm not even like showing this drawing to make fun of it. I like it because it's exactly the sort of thing like I'd have drawn 20 years ago. If I was into Fallout, I'd have been like, oh fuck yeah, fucking big titted Deathclaw girl, fucking get some, give me that shit, I need it. So I really do appreciate that for what it is. We love that. We love some some smut. Does that? I guess that counts as Rule 34. It's not strictly porn, is it? That image is very erotic, obviously, but I just thought it was funny. In one way, I was like, of course, of course, that's one of the very first images you see when you search fucking Deathclaw. But yeah, I thought that was brilliant. So absolutely shout out to TF Warlock on Fur Affinity for that masterpiece. I think it said, I looked at a quick look on his page. I think it said that drawing in particular was posted 8 months ago, so fairly recent. It's not like, because Fallout 4 is, oh god, when did Fallout 4 come out? Fallout 4 release date. I can't spell date. I spelled date. DTAE. Detae? What's the release detae of Fallout 4? Why am I searching on images for that? 2015. Almost 20 years ago. Holy shit. Yeah, November next year. It'll be 20 years since Fallout 4's come out. Jesus. So yeah, Fallout 4 is hardly a new game. It's really, really hardly a new game. But there's still people making very erotic fan art of, for instance, the Deathclaw. And we love to see it. We genuinely love to see it. I mean, that's the best kind of creativity, is horny creativity. That's what everything is anyway, isn't it? That's why VHS was used over Betamax, because that's what porn producers were using. So that tape was used more, sold more, and that's the one that just got put into everyday circulation. That's why Blu-rays were used more than HD DVDs. Because I remember when Blu-ray was first a thing, Blu-ray, oh, lucky Ray. And at the exact same time, there was, because you get Blu-ray in the blue DVD box, but then there was also HD DVDs in like red plastic boxes. I remember that as a thing, and because my older brother would always get the HD DVDs, because I think Blu-ray DVDs, you needed a Blu-ray DVD player, but HD DVDs would play on any player. But porn was using Blu-ray DVDs to put out their things, and so that's what stuck. That might be a lie, but as I understand it, there is truth to that. That these things do excel because of the pornography industry, because everyone loves porn. Especially, well, not especially, but including Fallout fans who love Deathclaws, love big-titted anime girls. What could be better? What could be bloody better? Did you know there's a Fallout show coming out? Oh my god! A good amount of people, and I'm very grateful for them. They've not all, but a good amount of people have like messaged me, being like, "Ewan, have you seen this? Ewan, did you know there's a Fallout TV show? Ewan, did you know there's a Fallout TV show coming out? Ewan, the trailer just dropped. Have you seen the trailer for the Fallout TV show? Ewan, did you know there's a Fallout TV show coming out?" And I'm really glad that people see Fallout content and think, "Oh, Ewan fucking bangs on about Fallout. I'll see if he's aware of it." And I am, brothers and sisters, I am. In general, especially with these kinds of things, if it's like a film adaptation of anything I'm interested in, I'm always skeptical. I try to keep my expectations very, very low. And then you're never disappointed. Well, no, I've done that before. I've kept my expectations very low and still been disappointed in the past about various things. It can and does and will continue to happen. But as I always fucking go on and on about, when it comes to shows and films and things like this, like for instance, this isn't the same, but for instance, Lord of the Rings is just a good example. The production of it, literally how it's made, how it's physically made, how they make all the props, how they shoot it, how they score it with music and all everything, cinematography, lighting, acting is necessary. Good acting is necessary, but just the world, the way they physically build the world is so important to me in terms of my enjoyment of media and such. And I've got to say, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I saw a bunch of like production stills and then a couple of short videos at various points, like during the year last year, as they were putting the show together, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like it looks good." I'm not saying, "Oh, it looks like this is going to be a really good show." From what I was seeing, from like a production standpoint, it physically looks kind of cool. It looks like they've really put time and effort into like creating what people know as the modern world of Fallout, and I say that because it's very much seems to be going the Fallout 4 and onwards world of Fallout, as opposed to Fallout 3 and previous, because those are two like drastic. I guess Fallout New Vegas, and we don't really talk about that one. And it looks like they've really taken care to like create the world of Fallout that people know and I guess love. The vaults look good. The vaults suits look good. The weapons, the armor of the Brotherhood of Steel, the look of the world, the blasted like landscape and everything. Do you know what? Shall we do a thing? Where are we at? Right. Let's. I've got it here. You and I right now. You and I. That's funny, isn't it? I remember that from college. Someone had a song lyric in their MySpace header, like "The champagne is on ice for you and I." But so you get you and I, but that sounds like you and I. That's not very nice, is it? What a cunt to do that. Oh. Let's watch the Fallout trailer together, yeah?
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place. A veritable Camelot of the nuclear age. Not made by God Almighty, but the working man.
You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today. Because if the worst should happen tomorrow, the world is going to need you to build a better day after.
The mission of the vaults should be important to everyone. To come up to the surface one day and restart civilization. Can you tell me what's happened in the last 200 years?
Holy shit. You're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
What you're doing is insane.
I don't set the world
It isn't like the vault out there. It's big.
fire. I just want to start.
I've had a rough week.
Flaming
Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
in my
You need to go home. You come from a world of rules, of laws. You should not be alone.
Why did you join the Brotherhood?
To hurt the people who hurt me?
People are going to come after you.
Ain't much stage cleanup here, Volty. Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs. You look out at this wasteland, looks like chaos, but there's always somebody behind the wheel.
What is happening here?
Everyone wants to save the world. They disagree on how.
There you are, you little killer.
a flame in your heart.
Oh, let me get some more of that Dr. Pepper before it's all diluted by the ice. I think it looks really, really cool. I both sort of like, and I like that they used the music, the classic I don't want to set the world on fire. Brilliant. And I kind of like and dislike that they have like a, they didn't modernize it, but they impacted it kind of, or gave it some extra like oomph and some gravitas, and like made it this big orchestral thing that swells and then fades out towards the end. Like that's a cool, like it's an anchor, you know, to tie it to to further tie it to the Fallout world that everyone knows, because anyone who's played Fallout knows that song. Basically whichever Fallout game you have played and enjoyed, you know that song. So that's one of those, like, it's a little bit of a remember this, which can be, you know, shit. But I kind of appreciate it. I like that they've got like the Vault Tech representative guy talking at the beginning about like, oh, you know, get yourself a vault and do. And then I think he is the guy who you see as a ghoul with the missing nose and the small drop in the big bucket of drugs line. I think that's the same guy, which has been a thing that's been used in the Fallout games, where like you see the Vault-Tec representative at the start of the game and you see him later on as a ghoul, where he's been like devastated by radiation and he's nigh immortal and he's all fucked up and stuff, and he's adapted to life in the wasteland. I really like that. Because you can, they're obviously taking bits and pieces from the game, like event kind of things, even like the person leaving the vault to like get a thing to help save the world, and the Brotherhood of Steel and this and that. I assume they will be telling a separate story within that framework, but obviously they need like shit to build. They need that framework to build on top of. had more things to say. What was I going to say, everyone? What was I going to say? Fuck! I like the animosity towards the Vault Dwellers. I forget that actress's name, but the one who laughs. You're a real Vault Dweller. I thought all you dipshits were dead. Like, that's brilliant. I really like that. Because, yeah, you can see that I don't know. I assume people who get into vaults are, well, they're either like hand-picked, like the best of the best, smart, like musicians, or just smart people, or fucking whatever. Or especially if you've got the Vault Tech representative saying, oh, you know, get yourself a vault. It's people who've bought their way into safety, but we all know what actually goes on in the vaults. So it makes sense that there would be a lot of like, I don't know, maybe not straight hatred, but I guess, yeah, animosity from people who weren't fortunate enough to be able to get a place in a vault. So when someone who did, it's like, you know, seeing any rich kid. I remember you'd get these at skate parks. You'd get rich kids come up with like a brand new skateboard, every part like custom bought and put together, brand new skate shoes, new skate brand jeans, t-shirt, hoodies, everything like branded to fuck, expensive as fuck. And they'd come along to the skate park to hang out. And, you know, especially for me and my part, for most of the kids around where I was skateboarding were not that. They couldn't, like, I know for me personally, I got 1 year for Christmas, I got a pro deck, my first pro deck. I had shit trucks, shit wheels, shit everything else, but I got this one pro deck 1 year for Christmas. It was a Tom Penny flip deck, a really, really cool one. And I had to make that deck last as long as possible. And I think somewhere along the way I was able to buy some more wheels. But like I couldn't have just like a new skateboard. I was lucky if I got a new part of a skateboard. So when you get these rich kids coming along going like, oh hey, let's fucking hang out and skate. It's like, oh, fuck you. You and all your fucking store-bought rich kid shit. Get fucked. Which isn't necessarily fair, you know, especially when he's a kid. He doesn't really know, does he? He's just, his parents buy him some shit because they can. But I understand, you know, I hate the rich. I agree with the statement, eat the rich. I believe we should. So having like rich people buy their way into vaults, I think it's a funny thing to put into the show of having people clearly be like, fucking vault dweller, oh, did you spend your time living in luxury underground? Oh, it must have been so hard for you, you fucking cunt. It looks really, really good. There was a quick shot of a Yao Guai in there, the big mutated, irradiated bear monster thing. I assume they're going to throw a Deathclaw in there at some point. I mean, it'd be silly not to, really, wouldn't it? And then, what if they threw in a Deathclaw with big tits? Oh, that would be fucking cool, wouldn't it? Much to my dismay, I don't have any Fallout books. Like, I've got that Art of Skyrim book, which is actually Sam's. He's very kindly let me borrow it long term, I suppose. I don't suppose indefinitely, you know. I will. I do plan to give it back to him at some point. But that's irrelevant. Sadly, I don't have anything like that for Fallout. I realise I do have, because I think I mentioned a while ago, I bought it because it was like £2 online. I bought the Fallout 3 strategy guide, which is like this. It's a tome. It's a big, fat, chunky book because it has, you know, how to complete the entirety of Fallout 3, including locations for all like the Nuka-Cola Quantums and all the fucking bobbleheads and all the shit. But I bought that kind of thinking and hoping there'd be more to it, in terms of like maybe some like concept art spread throughout and like screenshots of bits of the thing and bits of artwork and stuff. But there's like a couple of pictures, but for the most part it's just words and some screenshots and maps of like locations. So minimal on the artwork that it's almost like not even worth just looking at. And in terms of strategy guide, now we've got phones, that's irrelevant because I'll playing the game, and then if I want to find something specific, I can really quickly Google it. And there's, you know, everything has a wiki. There's a SpongeBob wiki and a Skyrim Elder Scrolls wiki. There's a Fallout wiki. So there's dedicated websites and pages to every single aspect of the game of Fallout. If I want to find any one item, it's on there, and I don't have to flip through pages to find it or whatever. So I, you know, what do I look at? And now I remembered, you know, we've looked at it a couple of times, but you maybe even be able to guess. The Last American. As far as like a post-nuclear war, post-apocalyptic wasteland artwork in a comic book or art book or whatever, this is a good one. I'm not going to say, oh, this is one of the best, you know. Although, for me, this is one of the very best comic books ever published, says Garth Ennis. It's all right. I think it would be really funny if it said this. It said, for me, this is one of the very best comic books ever published, said Garth Ennis. And then down here it said, written by Garth Ennis. I might put that on a future publication I do. On the front cover, it'll be like, oh, the best thing of this type in the best fucking wow pow comic currently in publication, says Ewan. And then Death Fist, made by Ewan. I thought it'd be quite funny. There's a soldier, he's cryo frozen, and then they wake him up at some point and it's the end of the world, and he's got a, oh, look at that. Oh, it's like coming out of the vault, innit? When you come out of the vault in Fallout 3, and that's actually so good. It's such a cool moment. It's on par with like walking around Skyrim at night with the music, and you've got like the northern lights and the multiple moons and the Skyrim music, and it's just calm and chill and gorgeous. Like in terms of visual and sensory impact that you get from that, the moment you walk out of the vault, if for the first time you playing Fallout 3, you walk out of the vault and there's just this entire like landscape in front of you, this whole like destroyed wasteland, and it's just like, and the tones and the music. And then if you don't listen to the radio, which I rarely do, don't do too often, especially in Fallout 3. I don't think I've ever listened to the radio in Fallout 3. It's more of a Fallout 476 thing. You've just got like the wind noises and like the occasional bit of music, kind of, but it's that real feeling of like emptiness and loneliness, and it's very, very impactful. And that's like this, walking out of the vault, and it's just this blood red sky, dead trees everywhere, everything's dry and dead, dust in the atmosphere. And he's got to do his mission, whatever the fuck his mission is. I don't know. Is that a giant ant, or is it just a zoomed in? Oh, it's a regular ant. He's got it in a jar. Okay. It's evidence of at least basic food chain. Well, there you go. That's true. Yeah, if there's any kind of life around, it means there's some kind of food chain going on. That's a very good point. I really like how Mick McMahon portrays this post-apocalyptic landscape in this comic. I don't know if he did the colours or... John Wagner and Alan Grant are writers. It says special thanks to these two people. So I don't know, I assume Mick McMahon just did the art. So yeah, I guess the colours are also his. Yeah, his line work's really good. Even just the cover, I really like the shapes and lines used on the cover. The strap, there's something really oddly satisfying about the way the strap's drawn. It's just like folds in on itself, like an octopus's tentacle almost. And yeah, the way he sort of shows the desolation, the skeletons around, what's the term? I can't think of the term. The just the the skeletons you see in like Fallout and stuff. Just add atmosphere to it. It's not the word atmospheric storytelling is not the word I'm thinking of, but there is a similar word. It's funny when you see like a skeleton on a toilet. Oh no, this guy died on the toilet. How tragic. But then you see like two skeletons in a house on a bed in their room, separate from their child's room, and there's like needles and stuff around them, where it's like, oh, oh, okay, they did that. Or yeah, like a skeleton in a bathtub, and its arm is hanging out the bathtub, and there's a knife on the floor. It's like, oof, fucking grim. But that's the harsh realities, isn't it? I love these scenes where there's like cars with skeletons in, which I like this as well because it shows like how instantaneously everything died. If they're like close to the blast, it just went through and just killed everything. So people in the cars just fucking maybe, I guess, I don't know, they're not particularly crowded. They could have been trying to escape and then died, but they could have just been driving along the freeway and then suddenly there's a flash and then they're fucking cooked and they're dead. Like, fuck. I like his big coat. I like the shape of his big coated body. This is a pretty cool thing. I killed no one. I am innocent. God forgive me. Joe Johnson, Cannibal, 2001. He didn't kill anyone, but he survived as long as he could by eating people. Of course, I'd do that as like an obvious thing. Like, of course I'm fucking eating people. Like, what the fuck else am I going to do? Am I going to hunt an elk? No. I'll fucking eat some cunts. Fuck them. These are good shots. These big splash panel, full page shots of the destruction, the desolation, the wasteland. Cars and skeletons and rubble and shit. Vacant roads and landscapes. That's a really nice like landscape shot. And there is something about his work, because his line work isn't particularly intricate, and he doesn't have loads and loads of like shading and hatching and form building and stuff. So when you get a scene like this, if you look at the lines used to make it, it's relatively simplistic maybe, but in terms of how it's constructed, that's where like the artistry really comes in. And like the use of colour as well, like the red band of sky across the middle. And then the foreground, the lines on the road going down into the thing. That's a good one too. There's this whole like song and dance from this ghoul. Singing New York. New York, New York. I assume this is or was New York. I guess it still is New York, but it's just fucking destroyed. Good job we don't see sites like that anymore, isn't it? Free Palestine. Free Palestine, really. I mean, I don't have enough reach to do anything, but it's a good art piece, though. Yeah, the rubble and very Fallout. That's why I chose to look at this, because the Fallout and the thing, and it's all it's all part of the thing. It fits into the thing and the thing and the thing and the thing. He's chucking a nuclear bomb at him and he's hitting it with a bat, but it blows up. Oh no, that's like the mini nukes in Fallout. good scenes of rubble and really good use of black shadow. I sometimes feel I rely too heavily on cross hatching and like fading, like making a gradient from dark to light. But then using just solid blacks for the shadows is, I don't want to say it's brave, but it's certainly a very sort of like bold move. You know, he's got bits of hatching here and there. His hatching is very much just like a few lines rather than like intricate hatching. But yeah, these like bold shadows really do give a weight, as I fucking go on about all the time, the weight that ink gives. So when you have like these heavy black areas, it really does weigh down like the rubble and stuff. It does make it all feel a lot more bulky and real. More just good, fairly simple, blown apart city shots, buildings with just gaps where there used to be windows and rubble, and the street lamps just a little bit askew. The dead trees is a really good thing as well. Obviously, you see dead trees naturally. Well, not dead trees, but like trees without leaves in the winter and stuff. But when put into the context of like a post-apocalypse, dead trees are a really good visual icon of just death. Like the world is dead. It's not just like, oh no, people are dead, animals are dead. It's the world is dead. Nothing's growing. Everything's destroyed. And that's, you can say Fallout 3 did that really well. In their wasteland where there's, like a lot of dead trees and stuff. It was just, everything's just fucked. Statue of Liberty's fucked. It's got fucking headless now. What's going on? There is something sort of iconic and bleak about a destroyed church as well. All the pews with skeletons in them of like people going here to, to pray for salvation or whatever it is. But they get the same result as everyone else. You're just as fucking dead. Just as much a skeleton as the cunt down the road. It all becomes dust in the end. These now, because it said at the beginning this was released in 4 parts originally, like 4 separately published things, and I do wonder, yeah. So there's each part starts with a nice big. Oh shit! Did I lose one? Big fucking, yeah, speaking of dead trees, just dry dead piles of broken wood. Good drawing of a tractor. That's a really good, like, obviously if you say you and draw a tractor, I could draw a tractor. I'd have to do some image searches, of course. Find some pictures of big-titted, sexy cartoon tractors that people have drawn. That's good. That's a really good drawing of a tractor. Skeletons add to it, the broken, bent metal, and more dead trees and rubble. Really, really good shots, man. Very good. Very, very good indeed. What's going on here? And I do like that it's sort of, obviously if you read the fucking book, you'll understand where it's interspersed with like shots of, like here, car on the road, cars on the road. There's a cannon in the park, and now the cannon is buried under rubble. And there's a couple of sweethearts, and then there's a couple of skulls just fucking fucked. That's cool. I think it looks like it's coloured with markers. Like the whole thing has that sort of like alcohol marker texture to it, kind of. I do wonder if it's more than that, or... I mean, either way, like the colours chosen are really good as well, because this is like a really hot, bright yellow and red, whereas for the most part, you know, the comic as a whole is very, very toned down, very desaturated, which is obviously done with specific colours of marker, if that's what he's using. It's not like he coloured it in, then toned it down on Photoshop. He's picking colours that will appear toned down just based on what they are when put next to like black and everything. And that way, when you use brighter colours, they're really going to stand out. So that's some smart work on Mr. McMahon's behalf. On his part. All the politicians in heaven having a laugh at it all. Bunch of bastards. That's a cool, scary shot as the bombs are falling. And even just like each of these pictures is just an individual glimpse at the destroyed world. More cars and rubble, dead trees, rubble, everything that's just dead and rubble. Which, you know, you can draw dead trees and shit, but like to keep it consistent, to keep the tone consistent throughout a book. And then to add rain. Fuck, man. I don't know if and or when I'll ever be ready to really put rain in any of my comics. I did have an idea towards the end of Gun Viking, which, you know, there's a bit more Gun Viking to do, but getting towards the end of that, there's one or two parts I thought would work nicely with rain, but I'm going to have to do a bunch of like practice shit of rain scenes before I just go and throw that into a comic, because hey, you got to be really careful with that, because you can easily just fuck it up, do too much rain, not enough, and you want to show some like water dripping off of stuff, but then not everything, because then it'll be too much. A puddle here and there with little ripples in it, and that's the fourth one, part 4. They're getting shot at. Oh my god, there's other people. But I think it's like automated something. That's a grim but also expected sight as well. There's obviously some kind of bunker, some kind of installation, and just piles of skeletons outside of obviously people trying to get in, scraping at the door, but either not being allowed or not making it in time and just being fucking dead outside. Also, tin cans. That's something I've had my eye on, because this comic is a very big inspiration for me to want to make that Simpsons post-apocalyptic comic, which I still want to do. It's still on my list. I just have too much other shit to do. But more than that, I have shit to do to pay the bills. You know, if enough people subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/ewan, as little as $1 a month. If enough people do that to where Patreon is just flat out paying my rent, and then I can do like 1 or 2 commissions a month to pay extra bills and stuff, and then spend the rest of the time working on cool comics and things, which will then become books, which I can then, you know, put out into the world. And obviously the more money I'm making from Patreon and stuff, the cheaper I can afford to like sell the books for, because I'd love to make a full book, like a 100-page graphic novel, something like this size, and sell it for $5. Like that would be something I'd love to do, but as it stands, I have to sell it for like £15-20 at least to make a not just a profit, but like a living off of it, you know. I hate that I have to involve money in this shit at all, but sadly, that's the predicament we are in. I sit in some kind of hope that there will come a time where I can spend all my days, I can afford to spend all my days just making the coolest comics I can think of. Get Death Fist out in a month, easy, because I have time to just sit and do it. Then work on a full, like, 120 page, you know, Simpsons post-apocalyptic comic and sell it probably illegally because of copyright laws. And then Gun Viking, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and just build and build and build. I do have at least some kind of hope in my heart that I will be able to get to that point. But it's all, you know, it's steps, isn't it? It's all part of the journey. We'll get there, brothers and sisters. We will get there. Quite coincidentally, I had actually been playing or replaying the Fallout games. I thought I'd go back. Fallout 3, I know it's not the first one, but like the first good one. Fallout 3, so I played through Fallout 3 just for a lark. I had my own like goals and shit in mind. I wasn't worried too much about the story or anything. And then I sort of got about as far as I could be bothered to in that. And then the next sort of logical step, of course, was Fallout New Vegas. I did give that another little go, but I just, it does several things right, but I'm just not into it as a whole. For the most part, like, Fallout New Vegas encompasses a large thing because there's the battle for Hoover Dam, for ownership of this, you know, big landmark and the land itself, between all these, you know, several factions, and you can sort of like pick a side and fight for one, fight for a cause, and a thing. But for me, Fallout New Vegas is, you start off, one of the very first things you see is the Benny, the guy pointing a gun at you, and he shoots you in the head, leaves you for dead, but miraculously something worked out where you didn't die, so you get up, and your first port of call really is to track down the fucking guy who shot you in the head. So I play it, I do that, I track him down, and then I shoot him in the head or murder him in whatever way I see fit at the time. And then, like, for me, that's the game. You know, there might be a couple of sort of okay side missions that I don't mind doing, but in terms of like getting involved in like the factions and then the political shit, and you can assassinate the fucking, I don't know if it's the president or whoever, and then go on this side or on this side and talk to this and do all the, like, I don't give a shit about any of that. Like, your character is a courier and you were just supposed to deliver some fucking thing to some fucking person. I don't want to get wrapped up in all of this fucking nonsense. Leave me alone. Leave me out of it. Let me go fuck up the guy who put a fucking bullet in my brain. Sure, but then once that's done, I'm off. I'm done. Ta-ta. See you later, chaps. And that's one of the main reasons. There's a bunch of reasons New Vegas doesn't really appeal. I think I've said before, there's the Lonesome Road DLC is actually one of the best like post-apocalyptic game moments. Like that whole DLC is really, really good. The writing is sort of like a bit too much. It's a little bit too like full of itself. But the actual like gaming moments of that DLC are really, really cool. But that's a drop in the big, a small drop in a big bucket of shit. I was going to say drugs, but like no, it's a small drop of good something in an ocean of piss. Whatever. yeah, Fallout New Vegas. Then I played Fallout 4 again, and then I started a new game, Fallout 76, which again is this big, somewhat massively multiplayer online thing, but not really. And there's a lot of like online community within Fallout 76, but it's not something I really care to involve myself in the same way. Fallout New Vegas is like there's all this stuff going on, but like I've got my own sort of shit and my own goals and whatever. I don't need to fuck around with all of that. So I play it as just a single player game, and I enjoy it for that. I enjoy the survival aspect of it, and it's fun. I like it. I like the tone. I like some of the settings of it, and I like Fallout 76 is big enough that it's got like several settings in one. And so I appreciate that. But yeah, sorry, that's all to say. That's coincidentally as I was playing. I think it's as I was getting towards the end of my this playthrough of Fallout 3. The trailer drops, or maybe even Fallout 4. The trailer drops for the Fallout TV show. Of course, I was aware of the TV show. As I said, I've been seeing the production stills and whatnot coming out, but then the trailer comes out, man. So I'm in quite the Fallout mood at the moment, and if nothing else, I've got a reason to not off myself just yet. I think it's April 11th. It said, is it? I think it said all episodes available as well. So I'll assume a day or two later I'll be able to pirate all the episodes. And I guess I'll do a review of it. Maybe a whole video, not a podcast episode, but like a straight Fallout TV show review. If I like it. Because then if it ends up being a bit of blur, then I might just not bother. I might not bother anyway. Also, I was with regards to the TV show, it's made by people who made the Westworld TV show, which is based on a very old film, which there's a Simpsons episode based on it. The Itchy and Scratchy Land episode is very, very funny. I saw some of that show. I saw the first few episodes. I wasn't really into the show, like as a whole, as a thing. I didn't care enough to like sit and watch it. It seemed to be a lot of like drama and shit that I wasn't really into. But it was a very, very good looking show, and that's in a way what counts, especially for something like Fallout. So I say that to say that was a very well made show, which does keep my hopes relatively high with regards to the Fallout. I think they seem to be very more than competent show makers. So yeah, I've got hopes that it will be good, that they'll do it justice. But I think one of my fears is that they fuck it up with regards to like storyline and drama and stuff. If they just put in like loads of human drama that I just don't care about. They have to, because they've got to make a story, but like in basically all the Fallout franchises, I don't give a shit about the stories. That's why Skyrim is best played with like mods and stuff, where you can just be person and do your own thing. I love being a hunter. I had real fun a little while ago doing a playthrough where I stayed strictly to the snowy areas. That was a really cool playthrough. I didn't give a shit about being Dragonborn. I haven't cared about being Dragonborn in Skyrim for so many years now. And that's when like those sorts of games are best, is when you can just enjoy the world that they've created as someone in the world. Because Fallout 3, you've got to find your dad, and I don't care. Fallout 4, you've got to find your kid, and I don't care. Fallout New Vegas, I mean, point in its favour, you start by a guy shooting you in the head. I kind of do care about finding that cock and mowing him down. So I guess that's a point in their favour as well. But Fallout 76, you've got to find the Overseer, and then there's that whole thing. The main crux of the main storyline of Fallout 76 is find the Overseer, and then find all the gold reserves that are kept in a vault, so you can start society again with a currency and taxes and shit. And it's just like, what? Why? Yeah. That is almost exactly like how what's basically happened after COVID. We had a chance to sort of almost build a new, better world, because we realised, nurses and fast food workers and just shop workers, all these people are so important to society. We could really take note of that and do something about it. And wealth inequality, because you realise you give people stimulus checks, they're very, very useful, and they actually use them for bills and stuff, and then that money goes back into the economy and it all circulates, and it's a whole thing. All of that happened, nothing changed. It almost changed in the opposite direction. Rich people got richer. Fuck it, all the billionaires, all the politicians, they all made it benefit them, and everyone else is fucked. And that's how Fallout 76 feels, where it's just let's get gold, let's start an economy again. What? No. Do something better. Create a new, better world. Don't fucking... Well, that's just how things were, so let's just go back to that. You fucking dink. That world is the world that created the nuclear weapons that fucking destroyed everything. Don't do that again. Fucking idiots. What's the matter with you? So I'm drawing a Deathclaw, yes, obviously. That's all very cool, I guess, It's alright. It's actually, I quite like the shape of the head. I think I did quite well on the shape of the head. It's a very it's clearly a Deathclaw head, isn't it? It's not I guess it's a Deathclaw. It's yeah, that's a Deathclaw. Clearly. The hands are pretty cool. I did try to keep in mind the Deathclaw gauntlet. Fallout 4 and onwards, their Deathclaw gauntlet is shit. I hate it so much. So you get the Deathclaw hand. This is the Deathclaw gauntlet in Fallout 3 is basically this. It's a fucking Deathclaw hand. And then you put your hand underneath it here and you strap it to yourself with belts, and you use a medical brace and a leather belt and some glue and a Deathclaw hand, and then you've got that on your hand. Brilliant. But then the one in Fallout 4 and I think Fallout 76 as well is you obviously remove the finger bones. So you've got one here and then one here and then one here, and then some straps and stuff holding them together in a 3-pronged thing, and you put your hand in there. It's not horrendous, but it's just some spikes on a strap claw thing. I just want I want to take the Deathclaw hand, hollow it out, and just put my hand inside and wear them like gloves, and just fucking those Hulk gloves, but Deathclaw. So I tried to keep that in mind. But also, there's the Vault Boy running away from the Deathclaw. Oh, he doesn't look too happy, does he? He looks pretty scared, in fact. So the plan... let's see if it'll work. Do I have any books I don't give a shit about? Do I have another sketchbook lying around? No, apparently not. Wait there. I hadn't planned this bit out. Give me a second. Alright. The plan, as it may seem obvious, is... oh shit. Another one for Rihanna. Whatever the fuck that is. Do I have my world's bluntest craft? No, that's a ballpoint pen. I have my Stanley knife, but that's not very good for more intricate cuttings. Fuck. Fuck it. The plan is to do like this. See, because then if I cut out this and then remove the bulk of the page but leave the Deathclaw's hand, I'm going to do it like this. I need to leave enough of a sort of spine that it will actually stay. And then it will be like he's chasing the Vault Boy, or the Vault Boy's running away from the Deathclaw. It's a multimedia kind of almost sort of piece of artwork. Kind of, sort of, almost. Almost there. Oh, I want to tear it all apart. There. Get ready for the big reveal. Raw! Of course, it would make more sense to have his claw like behind his arm, wouldn't it? I can do that easily enough. I can just cut his claws off. I don't want to do that right now though, because for now I want to enjoy the drawing as is. I will, however, try to give him some bolder lines just to sort of match the Vault Boy just a little bit more. Put some texture, not texture, but like they overlap this way, right? There we go. Yeah, that's kind of texture, isn't it? Cool. I guess I don't have much more to say. I'm looking forward to the show. Are you looking forward to the show? Are you aware of it? Do you like Fallout? And like I say, a bunch of people have mentioned it to me, so I assume a bunch of people have their eyes on it. And yeah, I don't talk about Fallout as if it's this niche thing. Like, you know, it's gotten a TV show for a reason. Money is that reason. I'm aware of that. Ultimately, I am aware they're not making it into a TV show because they just love it so much, and it's a passion project that they've poured their heart and souls into for years and years to try and get this made, and they're finally able to with the help of Amazon Prime. I'm a little bit bummed about that as well, which is, you know, one of the many reasons I'm happy to pirate it, because I largely disagree with everything Amazon is and or does. So I will be actively thieving the episodes. Can I say that on a public YouTube video? Whatever. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying that it's... I mean, even if it was a Netflix production, which, you know, we all know Netflix doesn't make anything that good, I'd still be a little bit like, oh, God, it's Netflix. But with Amazon, I'm like, ugh, fucking Amazon. But they've got all the money, haven't they? So if you can convince someone there that you can make a show that will make them more money, then they'll bankroll your shit, I guess. Those are the times we're living in. That's why people have shitty sponsors at the start or during their videos. you know, they don't give a shit about the product, and the product doesn't give a shit about the video. But if there's more eyes on it, then that means more money, and if there's more money, then that means more money, and if the money is the money, then it's all very money. Of course I sound like a broken record, because all I fucking talk about is money bad. Ewan no money bad, because Ewan smart and Ewan good, but money bad. But also sign up to my Patreon so I can get more money. It's just a shit though, isn't it? It's just about a bunch of shit.